The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning here at 5 a.m. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher.
And we begin with news making headlines around the nation. And after a request for a voluntary interview with the January 6th House Committee, Bakersfield's Kevin McCarthy has declined to provide information. McCarthy is the highest ranking Republican so far to be asked to come before the committee. 17's Chris Burton is in studio this morning with more. Chris, good morning.
Good morning, Alex. Unfolding over a matter of hours last night, the latest in a political drama that has now stretched over a year. McCarthy firing back at the Select Committee with a defiant statement. As a House committee continues to dig into the events of January 6th, it will have to do so without answers from Kevin McCarthy, at least for now.
This has always been a partisan play. She picked Benny Thompson, who says it's all open except the speaker.
The Select Committee yesterday sent a 6-page letter to McCarthy asking the minority leader and close ally of the former president to voluntarily respond to a host of questions. Many of those questions surrounding conversations McCarthy had with the president and others during and after the attack on the Capitol. Hours later, McCarthy declined the request. In a statement to 17 News, he accused the committee of abuse of power, saying, quote, "It is with neither regret nor satisfaction that I have concluded not to participate." In the letter, the committee's chair, Benny Thompson, highlighted McCarthy's phone call with former President Trump on the 6th and conversations with then Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. Discussing these conversations, which have been public knowledge for some time, would provide insight into the former president's, quote, state of mind during the attack on the Capitol, Thompson wrote. But McCarthy fired back, saying he had, quote, nothing else to add about those interactions. Republican Liz Cheney, the committee's vice chairwoman, spoke Wednesday and didn't rule out the possibility of subpoenaing McCarthy in the future if it was deemed necessary to, quote, get to the truth. In studio, Chris Burton, 17 News.
All right, thank you, Chris. And 17 News is your local election headquarters. It was a busy day yesterday for both of Kern's congressmen. Republican David Valadao announced he will seek re-election to the House in the newly redrawn 22nd district. The new district includes Delano, Porterville, parts of Bakersfield, and Valadao's hometown of Hanford. The people in this newly drawn area voted for Joe Biden in 2020 by a margin of 13%. And according to maps from the LA Times, the new district will be 43% Democrat and 26% Republican. While the numbers don't seem to play in Valadao's favor, his current district was one of only 9 in the 2020 election to both vote for Biden and send a Republican to Congress in the same election.
Now to the latest on a deadly distemper outbreak that has ravaged the Bakersfield Animal Care Center. 17 News has learned that the facility is not alone. A local rescue and Kern County Animal Services have also been hit and are forced to resort to euthanizing their infected dogs as well. More than 100 dogs have been euthanized from the city and county shelters, including from Unity Canine Express Rescue. Distemper is highly contagious and airborne. It can easily be transmitted when dogs cough, sneeze, or even bark. Dogs can also spread the disease through physical contact with body fluids. This disease does not spread to humans. When it comes to your pets, officials say the key is to get them vaccinated, although protection is not immediate.
Like all vaccines, nothing is 100%. And if there's anything that we should all know a lot about nowadays, it's vaccines. So no, it is not 100%. It's also not effective immediately. Different dogs have different times it takes to build up antibodies, so getting your animal vaccinated does not give them 100% protection against parvo and distemper right away.
Nick Cullen with KCSAS says in dogs, distemper symptoms mimic a respiratory infection, including a runny nose, cough, and congestion. If you start to notice these symptoms, there's still time to act. Just call your vet immediately to get them checked out. And later this month, Unity Canine Express Rescue will offer free parvo and distemper shots. Bakersfield, Arvin, and Lamont residents can take their dogs on Saturday, January 22nd from 9 a.m. till 2 p.m. to the FMN Fabrics parking lot located on Nile Street. Dogs must be at least 6 weeks old. For more information, you can head to our website, kget.com.
Making headlines around the state, an investigation is underway after 3 children were found dead inside an apartment in Merced County. The call came in yesterday afternoon at an apartment complex in the small town of La Grande. When deputies arrived for a welfare check, they found the 3 children, all under 8. A woman was also found inside the apartment suffering from what detectives believe are self-inflicted wounds. Deputies have not said how the children died, and there's no word on the woman's condition this morning.
5:07 is our time now, and as the death toll linked to drugs laced with fentanyl rises nationwide, state officials joined families of victims to call for action. Riverside and Orange County district attorneys are calling for lawmakers to take action against those who sell fentanyl, pushing for legislation to charge dealers with murder. And political leaders and law enforcement officials say it needs to happen soon. Fentanyl-related deaths have increased by 800% during the last 5 years.
We are literally fighting to protect our streets, and some communities don't want to do that. But I'm telling you right now, if you peddle fentanyl and you kill somebody in my county, we will absolutely consider charging with murder. Enough is enough.
Here in Kern County, the coroner reported 201 confirmed deaths last year due to fentanyl. That is a 61% increase from the year before, and they're not done counting. For more on the fentanyl epidemic here in Kern County, including 17's Robert Price in-depth series called Fentanyl, the Counterfeit Killer, you can visit our website, kget.com/fentanyl.
Hello, this is Tim Callahan with Clinica Sierra Vista, and we're excited to unveil the Community Health Center of the Future, our comprehensive care center. It's located right across the street from Memorial Hospital. We have every service under one roof, from family medicine, OBGYN care, dental services for adults and children, behavioral health, and much more. So find your way to better care at Clinica Sierra Vista this year at our comprehensive care center. Visit our website, clinicasierravista.org, for the latest on this project. We'll see you soon.
Coronavirus is rapidly spreading in Kern County and infecting more than 1,000 people every day. 1,600 new cases were reported yesterday. Health officials say another 8 lives were lost to the virus. Those people died in early December. Hospitalizations are climbing with 233 people in the hospital with the virus. That's 17 more than the day before. 40 others are in the ICU. That's an increase of 5 from Tuesday.
Hospitals in Kern County are preparing for an imminent wave of hospitalizations coming from the rapidly spreading Omicron variant. But recent guidance for hospitals significantly decreases the time infected healthcare workers can spend out of work. 17's Christian Galeno has more.
What are we going to do different?
That's one of the many questions hospitals are asking as they prepare to combat the next wave of hospitalizations. But there's one pressing question they must ask when faced with no staff to fight this battle.
In other words, if I have right now an employee or healthcare workers who are very essential and they test COVID positive, but they are not symptomatic, would I allow them to work? And in a crisis situation, the answer is yes.
On January 8th, California Department of Public Health issued guidance for hospital workers that test positive, allowing vaccinated asymptomatic workers to return without isolation or testing.
There are a lot more people getting sick much quicker and being out with COVID. During this current surge, we really started noticing it just after the holidays.
PPE like N95 masks are required to be used in order for workers to return to work. Guidance from the state places trust in the vaccine's effectiveness, as unvaccinated workers who test positive must isolate for up to 10 days and test negative before returning to work.
Severity of the illness is not as significant and it doesn't last as long. So we're noticing that the viral load is dropping quicker.
17's Christian Galeno reporting. Clinica Sierra Vista, meantime, is also feeling the pinch from a lack of staffing and COVID-19 testing supplies. The clinic says a lot of outside resources that were provided at the start of the pandemic by state and federal governments simply aren't being offered anymore. And the Omicron surge is bringing those issues to the forefront.
Everybody is getting sick, and that includes staff, community members, and there's only so many resources to go around. So that is the priority today. That being said, we take care of very sick people and every day, and if we need to, we have providers that can take walk-ins.
Clinica Sierra Vista officials say they've had to scale back and only provide COVID-19 testing to its members instead of everyone in the community.
Another sign of the times as the Kern County Sheriff's Office says it's making some changes due to the rapid spread of the virus right now in our community. Officials with the department say they'll be limiting unnecessary in-person contact to ensure deputies are available when there's an in-progress crime or life-threatening call. They are asking for the public's help by using their online reporting system if the crime's being reported is not in progress. You can do that at kernsheriff.org. And we'll speak with Sheriff Donnie Youngblood about this policy change coming up at 6:30.
In your Crime Watch this morning, a San Francisco man was sentenced to 8 years in prison yesterday after pleading no contest to pimping a woman in Bakersfield. 33-year-old Antonio Vidot entered a no contest plea in November, and charges of human trafficking and pandering were dismissed, according to court records. Police conducted a human trafficking investigation on August 17th regarding a woman who was currently in Bakersfield. The investigation led to Vidot's arrest the same day.
And this comes after Kern County District Attorney Cynthia Zimmer announced the launch of the county's Human Trafficking Task Force. The DA's office is teaming up with local law enforcement, survivors, advocates, and others to spread awareness of the problem and provide resources to those affected. Zimmer says human trafficking is the fastest growing crime in the world, and Kern has the dubious distinction of being the #1 county reported to the National Human Trafficking Hotline. The DA's office says it will be hosting several virtual trainings this month to educate the public on signs of human trafficking.
The Bakersfield Fox Theater's Walk of Fame got a new star yesterday, but this one was different, very different. This wasn't a country music star or a generous philanthropist, but a Kern County deputy who gave his life answering the call of duty. Kern County Sheriff's SWAT team member Phillip Campas was honored in a brief but poignant ceremony outside the historic downtown theater. About 50 people gathered for the unveiling of the sidewalk star on H Street.
The people that have stars here are entertainers, people that for meritorious service, they really don't mean anything compared to what Phillips means.
We can't thank the community enough for doing this and to continue to build his legacy, that we will never forget our son, husband, father, brother.
Deputy Campas was killed last July during a standoff in Wasco. His name is also enshrined at the KCSO Memorial on Norris Road.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.